And we are live. How about that? Oh my goodness gracious, we are live. I'm getting text messages. Yes, we are live. Today is Friday. I'm calling this Formless Friday because I usually don't even have a plan. I just go ahead and do if sometimes there will be interviews. I have a really great one for next week. I cannot wait for you to see it. Last week I interviewed Granny D, and I think that was great fun. If you haven't seen it, please go back and see the interview that I did with Granny D. Um, but there are other times when I'll have other kinds of content, either recorded or I just might go live because that's fun too. I mean, I really think in this whole YouTube, hey Heather, hey Brenda, I think in this whole YouTube thingy that we're doing, the live streams and the interviews are my two biggest strengths. So I'm trying to do a lot of both of them. Hey Julie, hey Roberta, hey Cuppy. Wow. Okay, Cuppy, the milestone was that, I'm assuming they're still there. I now have 2,000 people in my family, if you will. And that is exactly where I wanted to be right now. Now, in about 2 or 3 weeks will be my birthday. So I will have a birthday party. That'll be a Wednesday. That will be one of my Wednesday free-for-alls. But it will also be a birthday party and a celebration of 2K. But let us also not forget, next Friday in the US is what we call Black Friday, or the Friday after Thanksgiving, when a lot of delusional people go shopping. So I'm gonna do a holiday marathon on Black Friday. I don't envision having a lot of giveaways because I still have a bunch of stuff from the giveaways I did on Halloween that I haven't sent out yet. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. You've always been so kind to me. Please feel better. I know you've been having some back issues and lots of pain. So do what you have to do to take care of yourself. Um, and here we are. Here we are. So, the first thing I always want to do, and sometimes I forget it and I regret when I forget, but I want to thank everything that moves because it's with your attention and your generosity that I have um, done as well as I have. Some people have um, um, been quite impressed that I've reached 2K in just about a year of doing these crochet and yarn related videos. Of course, I always, I'm always a little bit too ambitious, too big for my pants. I'm always the one lately. Um, and So I sort of, my tendency is to downplay any kind of accomplishment and think about what else I can accomplish. But you know what? 2K in 1 year is not so bad. I guess that's pretty respectable. Anyway. Oh, Heather, you're so kind. I I try to be funny. Sometimes it doesn't work. But it's like the shotgun approach to humor. Sometimes you're going to hit something. Um, but yeah, I am just so incredibly thankful to everyone who has been kind to me in so many different ways. Oh, excuse me. Seasonal allergies. Oh my God, last weekend when I was in the mountains, it was so much worse. My nose was going crazy. Um, so it was a lot. But now that I'm back in Wilmington, which is on the coast, I guess I'm accustomed to this environment now. And yes, Cuppy, I need to recognize that it is an accomplishment, but it's just my nature to downplay any accomplishment that I've achieved and to think about what else remains to be done. And I could work on that. I should work on that. Except I try to avoid the word should. I didn't want to should all over myself. But yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, I am very thankful for everybody who subscribes, everybody who has shown me love in so many ways. I mean, just last week, I had a wonderful bit of happy mail that was some gorgeous yarn that will be going into, because it was all blue. Very nice yarn, and it will all be going into the Hat Not Hate project for next year. And there will be another Hat Not Hate project for next year. So let's talk a little bit more about schedule. Today is Friday. Friday, I'm starting to call it a Formless Friday because on Fridays I won't even call it a rotating format because that implies a structure that is not there. I just do whatever I feel like doing on a Friday. But I do want to post something every Friday. Today it's a live stream. Last Friday it was an interview. Next Friday it will be another interview. I hope that you enjoyed Granny D's interview last week. I hope that you enjoy the interview that I will post next week. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but it's somebody special. I will tell you that. Saturdays, I usually don't post anything, but tomorrow I have something. Sundays, I do poetry readings. I call it my Sunday reading. Mondays, I have my Monday Men, where I talk to men in yarn, and I have to tell you, this coming Monday, I have someone very, very special. Tuesdays, I do Topic Tuesdays. Sometimes I've been doing them long enough that we can safely come back to some of the topics. Excuse me. Some of the most popular topics have been perfectionism, tools, and dad jokes. Everybody loves dad jokes, whether they admit it or not. Hello, Alvin. I don't believe I've seen you before, but you're always welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Let's see, that was Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I have what I call my Wednesday free-for-all. It's another live stream with no theme or whatsoever. Thank you, Gracie. I'm glad that you're here. Stay as long as you can, but it's okay when you have to leave. Oh, Heather pleads the fifth on liking dad jokes. We all like dad jokes, whether we admit it or not. It's true. There are some people who would say that puns are the lowest form of humor. I don't think so at all, because I think puns are extremely clever. Because you have to have a really good command of language. Hey, MOB! Glad to see you. Yeah, puns are a great form of humor. Um, so let's see. What starts in N and ends in G? Oh dear me. Nothing? Um, ah, ah. Anyway, I don't know, Cuppy. Tell us what starts in N and ends in G. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, exactly. Um, let's see, what else is going on? Special events. Next Friday is Black Friday. In addition to having an interview that I will schedule to be, posted most likely very early in the morning that day, I'm also going to do, um, Hey, Life is a Gem. Um, I'm also going to do a marathon live stream starting at 1 o'clock Eastern. Because I like to do marathons on holidays. Black Friday is certainly a holiday. What are your Thanksgiving plans? Tell us everything. Um, for us, it's really just my sister and me. We live together in our late mother's house. There is family nearby, but we don't get invitations, so we make do. Um, so for Thanksgiving, we will probably go to a restaurant. And then on Christmas, we will probably cook at home. I love to watch cooking videos. And of course, leading up to Thanksgiving and Christmas, you see a ton of holiday cooking videos. Life is a Gym plans to eat and then sleep. I think that's a very good plan. I think that is excellent. Um, let's see what else is going on. As I was saying, so Black Friday, I'm going to do a holiday marathon. My birthday is December 8th, Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Shut up. Um, and that will be when I have a birthday party and I celebrate the 2K. Oh, Heather says her family is doing Thanksgiving on Friday so that her sister can be there. I think that's very nice. I love Thanksgiving food, and there is nothing that you can say that will dissuade me because turkey, dressing, um, gravy. Oh my God, gravy. Now, I like mashed potatoes just fine. I never had green bean casserole until I was an adult. I didn't even know that macaroni and cheese was a holiday tradition for many families until I was an adult. Um, so for us, it was always turkey, dressing, gravy, potatoes, or rice, or both, and then pies, usually pies for dessert. Hey, Karen. Copy KFC is a perfectly valid choice. I think we're probably going to go to K&W if anybody knows that cafeteria chain. It might be a southeastern thing. I don't know. So I have left it to my sister to manage the planning on that. And I've asked her whether we need to call ahead even for K&W. Banana pudding, Cuppy. I knew I loved you. Banana pudding. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, God. If anybody does not know, banana pudding is usually some kind of a combination of slices of banana, vanilla wafers, and vanilla pudding. Very often there will be meringue on top that you would then brown in the oven, but it's, in my mind, that's not a requirement. But the basic structure, and there are many variations, but the basic structure really is bananas, vanilla wafers, and vanilla pudding that all gets layered together, and by God, it's good. Oh, God. I haven't had it in a while. As you can see by my extremely emotional reaction to it. Ah. Do you know, Heather, I have seen slow cooker recipes for turkeys and things. Um, mmm. Cuppy does homemade vanilla pudding, which honestly is not that hard. I've seen it done. I've never done it myself, but I've seen it done. I normally, when I try to cook, I don't do desserts. I love to eat desserts. Um, But when I cook, it's usually like main dishes and things. I love to do casseroles. I love to do slow cooker things. I love to do very, very savory things. Proverbs, hello, I'm so glad to see you. So, yeah, here we are. So I was just saying that next week is Thanksgiving. Can you believe how fast the time goes? And then on Friday after Thanksgiving, I refer to U.S. Thanksgiving, of course. Um, Canada had their Thanksgiving in October. I think it's usually the first Monday in October. I don't remember exactly when it is. Um, but, U.S. Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday in November always. Then on Friday is Black Friday, when a lot of delusional people go shopping. And it's like an event for them. It's almost like a gladiator kind of thing where you have to just do whatever it takes to get that toy or that piece of electronic equipment. It doesn't matter who you hurt on the way. Yes, Cuppy, I don't use a whisk. I mean, I have trouble caking up yarn with the ball winder where you have to wind the handle. Yeah, my arms and shoulders get tired when I do that. Heather's kids think if it's a holiday, there must be chocolate. I don't see a problem with that. Now, my mother always made a lemon meringue pie and a chocolate meringue pie. And by golly, they were good. And then I think I was in high school when she found a recipe that became a family tradition that was, it had the form of a pound cake because it was in that kind of a pound cake tin that you use. And then it had graham flour in it and chopped dates, very finely chopped, those jelly orange slices that otherwise are so disgusting, but you chop them up and you put them into the batter, and they're so good. And then you would bake it up. It probably took a long time to bake. Did I mention it also had graham flour in addition to the other kinds of flour in it? And then you would create this orange glaze and pour over it, and then seal it up and let it season for a couple of weeks. Oh, dear Lord, that was good. Oh, Cuppy, tell us about your upside down pineapple cake. Oh, Proverbs, are you having the Spanish rice and chorizo right now or for Thanksgiving? Because we were talking Thanksgiving a minute ago. Thanksgiving PTSD. I think a lot of us have that. Oh, Cuppy, I'm sure you'll remain a small person. I wish I were a small person. I even like small guys. I spent 14 years with a guy who was taller than I am, but I still like small guys. Roseanne, hello. Glad to see you. Oh my goodness. We're having a good time talking about holiday food. We love holiday food. Oh, you guys, I didn't tell you what I did today. You know my local yarn friend, Andrea, or Gwanny Square with a W, when I did my Halloween um, live stream, um, Crystal from Bag a Day volunteered a mystery box as a giveaway prize. And Andrea, Mr. H, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. How is your lovely Mrs. H? I am very, very happy to see Mr. H always. If you do not know Mr. H, he has a wonderful channel. He's he's in the UK. I can't remember where. Is it? It's not Bristol, is it? Anyway, but he samples a lot of American culture and reacts, and he's lots of fun to watch and a perfectly sweet guy. Anyway, we have been talking, Mr. H, about U.S. Thanksgiving and U.S. Thanksgiving food. But also, I was just saying that today I went to see Gwanny Square, one of my local yarn buddies, um, because she received a, a mystery box from Bag o' Day, who was like the biggest, most famous crochet channel ever. So we recorded an unboxing. So I'm going to post it on my channel tomorrow. I still need to edit it, and just make it. Well, I won't say perfect, but I'll make it a little better than it is. And then, oh God. So Proverbs was talking about. Oh, Cuppy, that sounds good too. What did Proverbs say? Okay, Proverbs, you were having the chorizo, right? Spanish rice and chorizo. I do like that. I think that's wonderful. Yes. Oh, did you guys see? I see. There's a story here. There was a period where it was like a week when in the yarn community there was a huge amount of sadness. But that was the week that Mr. H announced that he and Mrs. H are expecting their first baby. And that made me happy. And sharing it with people made them happy too. Even people who, to that point, did not know Mr. H, they were just happy to know that happiness exists in the world. And hey, Mrs. H, glad to see you, Mrs. H. I hope everything is going well and you and baby are healthy. So anyway, we were all grateful for that news because it was a distraction from all the sadness in the yarn community where there was a tremendous amount of loss. It felt like a huge amount of loss that week. And then I could not resist sending Mr. H a baby blanket, which he showed on his channel, and I was pleased with it. I love the color. So I think we are all very, very happy for Mr. and Mrs. H, and cannot wait. I believe the baby is expected in, is it January or February? I can't remember exactly. Oh, thank you, Mrs. H. It was made with love. Oh, Roseanne has a new grandbaby, and she gets to see him tonight. Is I gather that's for the first time. Roseanne is expecting another grandbaby next month. I'm trying to convince her to have to arrange for the baby to be born on my birthday, which is December 8th. I think the actual mother who will be giving birth is not quite convinced. Hey, Nisi, glad to see you, Freehandly. February is when their new baby, a daughter, I thought I remembered you saying that you expect a girl. Yes. Oh my gosh. See, I've never had children. I have a niece. She herself has grown children now. But you know, no children. I can only imagine the joy. Mm. Wow. I love our room. I love our community. I'm so glad that we're all having so much fun. Hey, Jessica. So anyway, I started talking about, well, yeah, Heather, that's life, isn't it? Actually, Mr. H, there were struggles between my mother and my older sister during the time when my niece was in her formative years, and she was already an adult when they were reconciled. I missed a lot. Plus, I spent 27 years in the New York area, and there, all of my family is in North Carolina, so there's that as well. Hey, Jackie, glad to see you. I would like to be an amazing uncle. Now, my ex, he has nephews and nieces. I remember when the first one was born, when probably during the first year that he and I were together. And so we got to see more of his nephews and niece than of any of mine. I think the only time that my ex ever met my niece was at my dad's funeral. Oh, gosh. I'm so glad to see everybody here. I would love to be an amazing uncle, Mr. H. I have to seek out opportunities for that. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yarn, of course. Yarn. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let me show you what I just finished yesterday. This is a shawl. It's a great big old honkin' triangular shawl. Look at that yarn. I got this yarn when I was in New York. Um, and I loved it. It was on sale, and it's very nice yarn, and I love the color. And when I bought it, I had a specific friend in mind who is passionate about pink. So this is done. This is a sweater I started working on when I was in the mountains of North Carolina last weekend. And all that remains is to finish the last sleeve and piece everything together, and then, a little more finishing stuff. That's going to be a pattern. This one is already a pattern that's on my Ravelry shop. And I've already shown all the yarn that I got when I was at the retreat last weekend, because when I went to New York, I overspent on yarn, and so when I went to this one, I was determined to underspend on yarn, and I did. Mr. and Mrs. H are discussing UK versus US spellings of some words, color. Yeah. So actually, I did come away. I won a prize that was 5 hanks of this really gorgeous hand-dyed yarn. Then there was a guy who was destashing, decluttering, just getting rid of a ton of stuff in his house. Okay, Cuppy, give me a second and I'll show you that. But anyway, he was decluttering, and so he was selling his stuff and sharing the proceeds with the Retreat Scholarship Fund. I wound up with 5 hanks of hand-dyed yarn for what you would, less than what you might normally spend for 1 hank in a yarn shop. And not only that, he had some other stuff from his stash, because he watches me and he knows a particular brand and variety that I like. So he brought me some of that as a gift. So I was very, very grateful for that. So I spent $23 on yarn and came away with probably well over $100 worth of yarn. And then when I was in New York, I spent well over $100 and came away with over $100 worth of yarn. So I was determined to not spend very much, and I didn't. So, and then when I got home, I had a little bit of happy mail. Somebody had sent me this. Let me show it. No, that's not it. Where is it? I don't know where it is, but it was some nice blue yarn that will be going into my Hat Not Hate project next time. And then today, I went to go see Gwenny Square, Andrea, my local yarn buddy, and I was determined to give away some of the stuff that I had. I came home with more yarn than I left with. She's always giving me stuff. But we did a little bit of a, I guess you might call it a trade. Anyway. So anyway, Cuppy wants to know about this. Now, this is something my sister created. My sister is very much into counted cross stitch. It says, in music, there is harmony. In harmony, there is peace. And, most of you know that my background is very, 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 very strongly in music. So I like this very much. And then, of course, I have my Bearded Yarn Dudes, sign. Oh, look what you did. My Bearded Yarn Dude sign. If you do not know Brenda the newbie. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. H, I am so happy that you were here, and we bloody love you too. Um, um, I think that you are wonderful. Um, I should keep track of time. It's 4:35. Okay, Eastern. Don't forget at 5 o'clock we're going to go and see Granny D because she has her live at 5 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Um, at 5 o'clock. Um, anyway, oh God, yes, yes. Everybody, everybody, please go look for Mr. H and Friends. His YouTube channel is fascinating. I especially love watching him try American snack foods and even American, normal meal foods. He tried grits and liked them. Yeah, my sister, the way I do with crochet, she does with cross stitch. She does a lot of cross stitch. Um, yeah, it's actually quite nice. I have a few other things around. Let's see, there's this on the cat. You used to be able to see it. I think when I was working from the other side of the room, you could see there's like a North Carolina cross stitch map of North Carolina on the wall, but you can't see it now. Oh, I started to say this sign came and this subscribe sign both came from Brenda the Newbie Crocheter. I want everybody to know Brenda the Newbie Crocheter. She and her husband have a very successful business. Her husband, as a leisure activity, does woodwork. And so they make these signs to sell. So they came up with this logo. Daniel from Paw Ply Yarns created the logo for me. And then Brenda and her husband put it on wood for me. How cool is that? So everybody go and see Brenda the Newbie Crocheter. Heather, I did not see what you said about sending my niece hats and gloves. My niece is in Arizona. I don't think she needs hats and gloves. Okay, let me see if I can put in the link for Brenda. I think that's the right command for Brenda. Um, it is the right command for Brenda. Yeah. Okay, I'm missing comments, and I'm sorry for that. Send my niece hats and gloves. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're in Arizona. Don't really need hats and gloves there. Although I can do some pretty delicate and lacy shawls. I don't think my 18-year-old great nephew would really appreciate a lacy shawl, but his sister, who I believe is 17, 16, is very much into girly stuff. Hmm. That's actually a thought. Because I have so much yarn. I will never get through all of this yarn. And it keeps coming in. Oh my god. Okay, Jessica, I'm glad you were here. Oh, Heather, that's a good idea. A bathing suit cover-up? What is towashis? Sorry, I don't really understand that comment. A bath mat? I could do that. Bath mat would require probably a cotton yarn and probably a bulky, and I'm not that crazy about either one of those characteristics. Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, scrubbies! I don't like doing those either. Sorry, I don't like scrubby yarn. I'm just that way. I know, Karen. You know, sometimes, honestly, sometimes I've shared before that there are times when I do suffer from very deep depression. And the fact that I cannot, in good conscience, well, good conscience being a relative term, I cannot take any kind of desperate action while I still have so much yarn to use up, has been, I'll have to tell you, a very big help. Karen says you don't have to make scrubbies with scrubby yarn. You're doing it with bamboo. Interesting. Let's see. So I was telling you about the sweater that I'm making. This was actually, I started it last year. I called it the sweater that would not die because it took forever to work up. Largely because it took forever to figure out what I was doing with the counting and the cables and everything. This time, making the front and back panel took no time. Doing the sleeves are a pain in the butt. But the sleeves are taking a little more time, but I'm halfway through the last sleeve. And then I can just piece it together and then do whatever finishing I need to do. But I've already done the neck on it, as you can see. Let me show you what I've done with the neck. This is a technique that I have I've seen, but I've never really done it myself, where I would it's all attached, isn't it? Do a chain and then do a sequence of single crochet, then attach it, and then but slip stitch over to the next, and then do back loop single crochet, and then do back loop single crochet back, and then attach and slip stitch. And so I wound up doing this whole neck in back loop single crochet, which is exactly how I created the hem and the wristband. This is the first time I've done this technique successfully. And I hope that in the pattern, I explained it well. But I guess when I get it, I'll find out when I get it to testers. I could probably send it to testers now. Oh yes, Cuppy stays far away from sleeves to preserve a genteel vocabulary. I understand. June says her New Year's resolution. Karen, I almost didn't notice. I have to do this now. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? But thank you so much, Karen. I'm sorry, I almost didn't notice that. I hope that I have not missed anybody else. Okay, Roseanne. Oh, have a wonderful time this evening with your grandchild. Let's see. Karen, have there. Okay. Please tell me if I've missed any more super chats or super stickers. Anyway, here we go. Oh, what's going on? I have to keep track of time. In 15 minutes, we will go over and raid Granny D. Just call it a Bearded Yarn raid or a David raid or whatever you want to, because I'll be there too. And when the time comes, I will post the link to Granny D. I'll post it now, actually. Let's see. So what else were we going to talk about? We have a little bit of time left. So there's the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come up for a few minutes. Oh, excuse me for yawning. So anyway, as I was saying, I went to see Gowanny Square today at her workplace, because 2 days a week she works actually very, very near me, and that's where I met her. And she has become my local yarn buddy. So I went there. I was going to share some of my treasures from the weekend trip with her. Would you believe it? I came home with more yarn than I left with, because she's always giving me stuff. And, you know, she's just wonderful that way. She's ridiculously generous. So yeah, and I was wearing, tomorrow on this channel you will see an unboxing video, because if you recall, on my Halloween marathon live stream, she won a mystery box that was donated by Bag O' Day Crochet. And we all love Crystal from Bag O' Day, who also has been amazingly generous and supportive to me. So she volunteered this mystery box, and it was full of the most wonderful stuff. So we did an unboxing video, and that will be up tomorrow. And I will link it. Well, you'll see it if you follow me. You do follow me. Please tell me you follow me. I'll be very hurt if you don't. Oh, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't get a nap today. Anyway, let's see. We have all kinds of messages here. Okay, I might have to end a little bit early for various reasons, but let us all go over to see Granny D at 5 o'clock. Exactly, Karen. We love to give each other yarn. Okay, anyway, there we go. I'm gonna call it a day. It has been perfectly lovely having all of you here. And I just have to click end and go. Huh.